This past Saturday, it was projected that Joe Biden would become the next president of the United States. However, Trump has yet to concede in the race, despite trailing 214 electoral votes to Biden's 290, which has many wondering if a peaceful transition of power will take place at Biden's inauguration. Some Republicans are backing Trump's refusal to acknowledge his potential loss. Throughout the entire voting season, Trump has been complaining about mail-in voting, stating that the election was stolen. The day of the announcement, Trump tweeted, "We believe these people are thieves. The big city machines are corrupt. This was a stolen election. Where it mattered, they stole what they had to steal." Today, we've got our Comedy Hype analysts Rita, Brent, and Capone in the studio, with Pierre calling in to give their reactions to the 2020 election results. Pierre, I want to start with you. I know when I saw the results, I was excited, and then I saw Trump, and I was just like, well, I don't know how to feel. What were your reactions when you saw the 2020 election results?
Well, to be honest with you, just watching the whole election going down, every state waiting and see how it's going. I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous. I was nervous as I was like I was taking an STD test. I mean, you're good, but you just ain't sure. You feel you right, you feel you straight, but you just don't know because sometimes things happen. With that, I didn't know with Trump. I mean, he's so unpredictable. His fan base is kind of unpredictable, and it's just, I couldn't get excited. Even to this day, I'm not 100% excited. I feel it's gonna move forward, but it just didn't. I just wasn't sure, and I'm happy with what has happened so far, and I'm proud of my state I live in, Georgia, for flipping. But I don't know, it was nerve-wracking. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was like watching, like I said, just a last shot, in a basketball game. You just don't know how it's gonna fold. Even though you think you're ahead, you think you're doing well, you just don't know. Especially with Trump, you just don't know with him.
Right, you make a good point. Capone, what about you? What were your initial reactions?
I'm gonna be honest. I knew Biden had it because the climb that was climbing slowly. I just feel like they were holding the numbers back because on the days that they could have said it, Trump people were out in the streets.
Right.
On Saturday they were home and whatever, so they made an announcement then so they can get ready in case they were doing something. That's the way I feel about it.
What about you, Rita?
That's a good point.
That's
In Atlanta, everything was boarded up.
Exactly.
I'm talking about Marshall's Waffle House. I'm like, who gonna break in Waffle House? Still waffles, but they had everything boarded up. My initial reaction was relief. I called my mother, I called my grandmother. I wasn't even getting sleep. But if anybody stole the election, Trump stole the election from Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
He did not win the popular vote. So this electoral college stuff, we need to explore this a little more in the future. Why is it that Biden got 74 million votes, 4 million more than Trump and counting, and he wasn't declared the president immediately?
Right.
So we need to look into the electoral college. But like Pierre said, I want them to do the inauguration tomorrow. Let's not wait to January because Trump is going to drag this on.
Yeah.
He's going to get more petty and more foolish. And that's all this is. He's being petty and petulant.
So as we've seen he's not willing to leave the White House happy, but are we even surprised for Trump to be acting this way?
Hell no. I'm not surprised.
He's not going to leave the White House, not willingly.
Oh, he's leaving. He getting up out of there.
No, he's not. And I mean, I listened to The Simpsons. In the last predicament that The Simpsons had, Trump left somewhere else.
That's where your legal advice comes from, The Simpsons?
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me, the scary part is not just him having such a hard time leaving, but it's the fact that so many people are backing him. Like you have Republicans that are saying, there are a lot of reasons why, but not giving any substantial evidence of how.
To this day, there has been no evidence of voter fraud. You have the AGs coming out in all these states saying, we don't know what this man talking about. And it's also a slap in the face of these voter officials, those who are observing, who worked hours and hours to count these votes. Trump is basically saying, y'all don't know how to do your damn job, and I deserve to be president. But it's funny, he wasn't claiming all this fraud when he was losing. Had he been winning, this would not be his narrative. But people are committed to party. They're not committed to the people. We see that.
Right.
Well, my major concern about Trump, he's going to be out there January 20th. He might not show up for the handshake or whatever you got to do at inauguration. I ain't worried about that. But he will physically be out of there January 20th. Him himself cannot stop that. Now, we as the country will move him out of the way. My major concern is, what he's going to do from today to the 20th. Now, he can wreck shop in between that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff he can do. And, you know, he's Mr. Petty, you know, President Petty. So that's what we need to, hold our fingers crossed, because heavens knows what he's going to do between now. I think he's like one of them people. What was them? Like in the war, the Japanese used to have those bombers that killed themselves, you know, in the plane, just ran them into places. He's one of those kind of guys. He'll wreck shop.
Kamikaze.
Everything. He don't care.
Kamikaze is
he
called.
Don't care. So he'll bring everything down just to do it, to get up out of there. I believe that in my heart. You know what I'm saying? So that's my concern is with him.
Yeah, you make a good point, Pierre, because his followers are batshit crazy.
Yeah.
They are batshit
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Anytime you have a caravan of people trying to run a Biden bus, that is dangerous, and that takes me back to the 60s when they were running down black people. So I'm with you on that, Pierre. We need to be careful. But somebody made a good point, which is just to not show them any attention. You know, if you meet them where they are, where we're dealing with violence and dealing with aggression, that's what they want. They want you to tempt them, you know, just like some bad police. They want black people to tempt them, so it's like, give me a reason. So I just say we just don't give them any attention. And I also think we should stop talking about Trump in the news. Go ahead and change the narrative. Go ahead and transition. Biden already had a coronavirus press briefing, and it was so refreshing. Full sentences. Biden was reading his little teleprompter. You know, he went up there, you know, that the virus is not, it's not really, you know, everybody, you know, we had to deal with that shit. So go ahead, let the news talk about something else. Let's talk about Biden and Harris and his transition. Don't give them fools any attention.
And I definitely agree. That's what I'm seeing too. Not just people that are in power in Trump, but you have people like Al Schmidt, who is the overseer in Pennsylvania. They're receiving threats saying things like, you know, the Second Amendment is for people like you. And it's just like you said, it takes me back to the 60s where it's just like, why, like, what are we doing over, you know, a loss, or what exactly are we fighting for at this point?
Sure. You said it took you back to the 60s like you was there.
I do my research though.
It took me back when I was little.
I was being thought. But it's just the fact though, when you look back at your history, especially somebody that's big, you know, of the history of our community, I think it's important that we should study where our people came from. So it's like when I see things that are on the news, like them taking the Biden bus out, like it's crazy that here we are in 2020. I'm living in what my people had to live in back in the 60s.
And my grandmother's still alive. She remembers this.
Yeah, the best thing that Trump ever did was show us how racist people are. That was the best thing. Whatever he did to bring out that formula. But the craziest part about this is that the white people were scared to come out and just show that they didn't want to be on his side. So they stayed neutral all this time until now. I mean, you see them dancing in the streets. You see them doing all kinds of stuff, but you didn't realize that, you know, it's so crazy how this racist thing is just, I mean, they really, really out here, and they got guns. Yeah, they got guns, and most of them police. It's just so, it's amazing. But I'm thankful that he did what he did.
Yeah. You kind of get to see where things are. But speaking of seeing where things are, I do want to lay a couple facts out about currently where we are. So Biden is in the lead in the four states that we're waiting on. Pennsylvania, he's in the lead by 43,194, which is outside of the margin that would mandate a recount. So we already know that's out of. Arizona by 16,985, Nevada by over 34,000. But if Trump wants a recount, he would have to pay for it, which I can probably see his people putting up the funds to pay for it.
That's
and then Georgia, he's only Joe Biden's only in the lead by 10,000. So we'll likely see a recount here in Georgia. So I guess we'll see as everything continues to unfold what will become of this election. But you heard from us. We want to hear from you in the comments below. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
No more waiting to hear from us every Friday.
You can now watch Comedy Hype News 5 days a week
on YouTube
and social media.